So what's up? How's it going today? In this video, we're going to look at a super easy way to connect your solos to a chord progression. And we're going to take a look at a blues just to keep it easy to the 3-chord, simple blues. And first, I'm going to play through an example of doing it so you can hear what this sounds like. And afterwards, I'm going to break down what it is. It's a simple idea using this thing called tritones. Sounds real fancy, but could not be easier to actually implement on the guitar. So, well, first, let's give it a listen, and then we'll break down what it is. So what is going on? First off, we're playing a blues in C. So we have C7, F7, and G7. So those are the 3 chords we're working with. So if we want to just keep it simple to the scale, we could be using a C minor pentatonic. Right? That I'm sure a lot of you are probably familiar with, right? It's probably the most popular scale shape on the guitar, I'd say by far. So we've got that, right? So that matches up. But you may be thinking, okay, I play through that, and I play across a blues, and it just doesn't always sound like I'm playing with the changes. I'm not playing with the song and whatnot. So this will make it really easy to just play right along with it. And it's a thing called tritones. It's this little shape that everywhere in guitar, it's 1 fret apart on the next string, except right here. I'll get more to that in a second. It's 2 frets, but so 1 fret apart. And a tritone is just like the word says, tri meaning 3 tones. A tone is another word for a whole step, which is another term for 2 frets. So 2 frets on the guitar, you're going up from here, up 1 tone, 2 tones, 3 tones. That's the same as this note. So doing it on different strings right there. So 3 tones up or 1 fret up on the next string. It's a little easier to play like that. And that is, it's called an interval. It's just the distance from one note to the next. It's a particular interval called a tritone, and there's other names for it too, flat 5, sharp 4, things like that. But it's not really found too often in melodies. It's a very harsh sounding thing, right? But the most common people know from melodies is The Simpsons. The intro theme goes, oops, look at that. Which summarizes the song real well because it's a very harsh sounding interval. And it's all about a dysfunctional family, right? The show, and at the end, every episode, it kind of always ends up well. It kind of wraps up nicely. So it's a perfect, simple 3-note thing. Really tense, and then resolves it there. And it happens to go along with the syllables of The Simpsons. So perfect there. So next time you watch the show, listen for that tritone in the intro. But we can do that here. And the beauty of it, though, is if you play this down an octave here, there you go, another tritone. So another one here, another one here. Here's the only spot because of these strings are tuned different. This string is tuned differently. It's going to be 2 frets with the same sound, and back to this. So we can easily just go across. You don't have to even know all the notes. Just kind of find one reference point and play across there. So how does this apply then to the blues and playing to chords? Well, if you're playing a C7 chord, the middle 2 right here, here's our major third and a flat 7, and there's that tritone. So that just gets those 2 notes. So it's not so much about the interval shape, that sound, but getting these 2 very key notes in the chord. I mean, they're really more important than the root and the fifth, if you know anything about how chords are made up. And if you don't worry about this too much. We can just play this and get these sounds. We don't have to know the theory behind it. But the root and the fifth are the least kind of, interesting sounding parts of the chord. And if you're playing with a band or a backing track, the root and fifth is probably going to be played by the bass player, or someone else playing full chords or something. So that third and the flat seventh, much more interesting. So we can play our minor pentatonic, right? And then play those notes, add them in there, maybe finish your phrases with them. It's a great way to make it sound like you're playing right with the chord. especially this note right here. This note is in the scale already, but this one is not, and that's one of the notes that a lot of people are missing when they're playing blues. And this extends actually much beyond blues, but we're just sticking with blues for this kind of example. So that note right in between there, that's in that chord, you know? So now we've got that, and we can do it here, here, here. We can venture outside this chord shape and not really know what's going on, but just because we're following oops, following that shape. Different one here. Now, think, okay, that's great for one chord, but for the next chord, the 4 chord, here's another beautiful kind of mathematical thing about it, is if we're playing this one, it fits into the C7. If you move it down 1 fret, now, okay, it doesn't look like it fits this shape, but this shape right here of an F7, it fits right in there, and now it's the 3rd and 7th. So they got the order of the 3rd and 7th get reversed, but there's still 3rds and 7ths of that new chord. So just 1 fret, and that means it's not just this here, any of these. Take this one here, just slide it down 1 fret, and now, oh, that shape right there, there it is. It just works like magic. So you're going along, sounds like, ooh, I'm playing right with that chord. Now it sounds like, oh, I'm playing well with that 4 chord. And if you don't know what that means, again, no worries. Playing with that F7. And you can hear that without even me hitting the whole chord. Down a little lower, you know, same thing. So it's just 1 fret moving that shape around. So now, if we go to the what they call a 5 chord, the G7, we just go from the C7 up 1 fret, and that brings you right there. And then during that turnaround of G7 to F7, it's going to be 2 frets. So you're going along the 1 chord, C7, the 4 chord, F7, the 5 chord, the 4 chord, back to there. You can see how it all just kind of went through that little journey of the blues, little turnaround, but it's right back there. So it's all about these little tiny shapes. You can combine them, but if you just stick to just 2 strings, little shape, and then just moving it up and down, you know, 1 fret or 2 frets from the G7 to the F7. But just try it real slow and just take the scale and come up with a little melody and go into one of the shapes. Leave some space. See if you can do the same. You know, it's a great exercise. Repeat that same phrase over and over, but end the last 2 notes that you end on, have it be different for the chord that you're trying to play over. And it's a great way of developing an idea, and it's making it, you know, a cohesive thing. So you're not just playing randomly up and down the scale with no clue phrases and then not connecting to the chords in the song at all. So I'm going to practice backing track for you. Try this stuff out. Just try it real slow and just come up with again really, really simple stuff. Try to stick with just this minor pentatonic shape for now. And if you can even just stick to like one of the shapes, say, you know, 1 set of strings, like the middle 2 strings, they kind of resonate really well, you know, or these 2 strings, you know, maybe forget about the low ones for now. Just make it really simple, and I guarantee you, you will connect with those chords more, and you will sound more melodic and sound more in sync with whatever tune you're playing. And have fun with it, experiment, and I'll see you in the next video.
Bye.